Hey guys, it's Will here again from Break Designs, and I'm coming with a new tutorial, and this tutorial is all about using blend modes within Illustrator and Photoshop, or shall I just say Photoshop for now, to create something like this. So this is all to do with blend modes, nothing else really, and it's just to understand the basics of it all. So we're going to make this or something like this just now, so I'm going to just I'm just going to copy actually, get rid of all these, and then I'm going to make a new document of 1280 by 720, just a standard document, and then I'm just going to change the background layer. I'm just going to double click on that. I'm going to change the background layer so we can have a texture on the background of it, and I can't remember which one I used before, but we'll try and find it. There it is. So it's just a texture, but you can just bring in any sort of picture, and I'm just using a texture for now. Okay, the next thing to do is to bring your text in, and I'm going to just say tutorial in my text, but at the beginning I want it to be capital, like we all should. My colour is in the hex code here, 00757A. That is the hex code for it if you want it. I'm just going to transform this down a little bit here, and you can see how quick my hands are going on the keyboard for all the hotkeys. It's all a bit strange. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our blend mode. So we right click here and we go up into the blending options. And then now what we need to do is we need to work out which ones we're going to use first. So what I really want to do with this is I want to create a stroke. And this stroke is just going to be a big sort of stroke about this big. We'll make it. And we'll make it so it's in the center. The positioning's in, not the center, inside. No, again, outside, sorry. And then the opacity is that, the fill color is that. Awesome, everything is looking good. I'm going to change the color to a white, or even just another random, yeah, we'll change it to white for now. Okay, then I'm going to put a bevel and emboss. Actually, we'll do that in a minute, it'll be easy like this. So then we just press OK. After we've done the stroke, press OK. Once you've done that, you'll have this little layer effects icon coming on there. Don't touch that, but down here, if you just unclick, just click on this little down facing arrow and just right click on here, you'll get a lot of options. Go down to the bottom and create a layer. And when you do that, you'll see this stroke effect here, it'll just be in a new layer. So that gives us more versatility to move it around. And the stroke layer, as you can see, is just like a big massive blob, but we'll need it just now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the stroke layer and go into our blending options again. And after into our blending options, we're going to change it and we're going to put a pattern overlay on, and this puts a pattern over it that you can create or save, and I'll go through that in another video if you need me to. So we're going to just put a nice sort of, I don't know what kind of pattern we'll use something like this, what I used beforehand, which is this cool sort of texture thing I've used there. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put a drop shadow on, and we're just going to click that. And you can see that all these layer styles, I'll just point this out, all these layer styles are in stacking order. And what that means is that if I was to enable this and bevel and emboss, you would see the bevel and emboss first rather than the drop shadow. So that's the way it works, just so you know. And that's why it's different from CS5 at the moment. So I'm just going to leave this setting fine. 75 is fine at the moment. 120 is great. I'm going to move the distance just with my arrow keys. And then I'm going to press the tab key and then go down to size, just make this bigger. I'm going to go for 6 at the moment. I'm going to go change my blend mode, and these blend modes, what happens here is that these lot are the sort of darkening blend modes, these are the lightening blend modes, and these are the mixing blend modes where they'll mix colours. So if you're trying to make something darker or some specific shadow darker, you could choose one of these. If you're trying to make a highlight lighter, then you could choose one of these. The most effective ones I use is linear burn, because that is the most darkest blend mode you can use to make everything really dark. I'm going to go and change my size a bit, just like that, so it goes better, but I'm going to change the opacity and use shift down, which will bring the down percentage down 10% every time I press down. Makes it a bit quicker. Then I'm going to go back down and change the size again, go back and change the size again. And it's all about finding a medium. You'll find these blend modes, you'll see people who do them really quickly. That's because they've gone through them beforehand, but you know, it's easy just to find a blend mode and just play around with it. Okay, now we've done that, I'm going to press OK. And you'll see that you get these effects icons down here, and you can turn them off or on or whatever, and you have this little arrow pointing thing here. I'll just let you know that you can get the effects from down here in the bottom, where you can just press and get them all down here and go to the blending options or the layer style panel fairly quickly, just like that. Okay, so we're going to go into the tutorial bit here, into the tutorial text, and we're going to go into our blending options. As you can see there, I press Command B, and I changed my shortcut settings to do that, and you can do that, and we'll do that in another video. But okay, so we're in our blending options for our tutorial. We are now going to just make this 3D or bevel it so it looks like it's popping out, and we'll give it some texturing, and it'll be good. So we're going to go up here and press bevel and emboss. When we're in the bevel and emboss place, we're going to go and choose emboss, and then we're going to change the depth to 100. Yours should already be on 100. We're going to put the size up. I'm going to put the size to around maybe there, about 4. I'm going to leave the soften, and I'm going to leave all this. I could change this to 115, but that would change everything because it's on global light. So I'm going to turn off global light and see what it's like on 115, and that doesn't look good at all, so just put it back onto global light and we should get it. If you change global light, everything else will change, because that is the global light for everything that you've used, and I don't like that, so we're going to go back to 120 to 30, which is the default, which is good, and that is the altitude, and that's angle. We're going to leave the glass contour, but we're going to put anti-aliased, because that's going to help us give it more of a smooth bevel. Down here in our highlight modes, we're going to choose overlay, because we don't want it to be white, really want it to be really sort of embossed onto or mixing with the blue. And then we're going to put it opacity up to 100%. In our shadow mode, which is down here, as you can see, we're going to go and change this to linear burn, and this will give us more of a burn to it. We're going to just bring this down a bit, and we're going to just leave it like so. We might just even reduce the opacity of the highlight, and then we'll go up, and we're going to just play around with this. As you can see, I'm just literally playing around with it all. I'm going to do that, change my opacity, and as you get used to it, which you will start to understand blend modes a lot more. Things should start to look good. Okay, now that's looking okay, but what we can do in the blending modes or the layer style panel is go to texture, and texture is a really cool feature, and it means that you can texture the layer style that you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change the scale to 100% to give it some proper high definition, and down here we can change the depth to 100, and I'm going to just reduce that a tiny bit because I don't want it to be full on 100. I just want to give it a bit of texture, and you can change the texture, and it is literally a pattern that you use. Which texture we're using right now, so I haven't a clue, doesn't matter, but you can change the pattern of the texture of what you want, and we'll go in another video and we'll talk about patterns and stuff. Okay, also now we've done that, we've brought a texture in. I'm going to just even bring this texture up a tiny bit more to 81, and now we're going to just probably do a gradient overlay, and I'm going to click onto my gradient overlay icon here, press this gradient bit here. I'm going to go down to, actually no way, I'm going to reverse it, because I want the darkness to be up here and the lightness to be down here. So I'm going to go up to the lightness panel here, and up here is where you change the opacity, down here is where you change the colour. So I'm going to go change the opacity to 0%. I'm going to bring down this here. I'm going to change this to overlay. I'm going to reduce the opacity like so, or we can make it dark like that, or we can make it even lighter. So we'll go ahead and make it a bit lighter up here. So I'm going to change that to lightness, and we'll just move that. You can move it with you. If you just click and play with it, you can actually move it, and it is a big help if you're more of a hands-on person. Okay, so I think I've got something I like around about there. I'll probably go for linear. Reverse align with layer, of course. Dither will make it so you can't see any sort of gradient lines, is what happens, which is in CS6, which is awesome. And there you go. And I'm going to even change the opacity of that, because it still was a bit too much there. Okay, and there's not much else we can do, but we could do loads more to make it a lot better. But guys, this is the tutorial, and I'm literally still wanting to change some of this stuff. change the depth again down to 60. And I'm just wanting to change all this sort of stuff because it takes a while for me to get a texture that I like to work properly with, and it's taking me a while to get all the blending modes right. I'll show you one last thing before I go, and that is how to blend this whole sort of scene here into the background so it looks like it's been sort of melted in. This is a really easy thing to do. So if you have two corresponding things, sort of like the tutorial bit and sort of like the stroke bit, we'll group these together by highlighting them both and pressing Command G. We'll just name these tutorial, because the whole bit. We'll then go into blending options and groups, which you have in CS6 to do. And we're going to go to blend if, and blend if is a really cool thing that you can use to blend layers and stuff like that into each other. So I'm going to actually blend the underlining layer of this into my tutorial bit, and we're going to blend the highlights. Now we could just bring this bar right in and it will look really choppy, and you can sort of get the drift. It looks very choppy when we do it, and that's because we can separate this and it'll give us more of a nicer look, and we could do that, but that doesn't look too good at the moment because it's not just a single text layer. So if you wanted to have a single text layer, you could do that. I'll just show you quickly. Just bring out text. I'm just going to make sure it's black really quickly, and then I'm going to go into my blend if, and if I brought this down, you could see that it's sort of blending into the fabric in the back, so it looks like it's properly in there because the white is showing. It's saying that 100% is 170 white, 202 to 155 black, and that's the way that blend modes sort of work. We're going to go into more detail in the future of blend modes and stuff, but I hope you're happy with this tutorial. Please, in the comment section below, write some stuff of what you want me to do, because I can't keep thinking of things that you might need to know, because I learned Photoshop in a really strange way, just playing around and watching other people do it. So if you guys have any questions about Photoshop or Cinema 4D or Illustrator, then just give us a message on the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you watch, thumbs up, all that jazz, and I'll catch you in another video. See you later. Bye.